Hello everyone, Nathan here once again and welcome back to my Unity Evolution guide of Age of Empires 2. This time we're covering the standard archer unit evolution line. All archers use bows as their primary weapon, although it usually depends on the exact type they are using. The bow is a projectile weapon that fires arrows, usually made of a piece of flexible wood with a string joining the two ends. The bow functions by pulling back the string to flex the ends, and releasing to transform the potential energy of the bow to the velocity of the projectile. Bows are actually not the first projectile weapons invented. Slings and spear throwers were used much earlier. However, the invention of this weapon made other projectile firing systems almost redundant. The Middle Ages saw the rise of the crossbow, although this was invented by the Chinese around the 6th century BC, and the Greeks sometime shortly afterwards in the Western Hemisphere. The crossbow was an improvement on the bow as it was more accurate. In the 12th century, a variation of the crossbow called the Arbalest came into use. This weapon had far more power than the normal crossbow, as it was larger and made of steel, a material with more tensile strength, which leads to greater force. In Age of Empires 2, the three archer units, the Archer, the Crossbowman and the Arbalest, are trained at archery range and cost 25 wood and 45 gold. This cost is relatively expensive in the feudal age. Archer units are great at repelling enemy infantry, and in the Conqueror's expansion archers gain 3 damage against spearmen, but units with a high speed such as cavalry can take them down when archers are outflanked. Additionally, mangonels and scorpions, both of which are highly resistant to arrow fire, have the ability to take down multiple units at a time. This forces the player to either retreat or try to move closer so that the siege units cannot attack them. Skirmishers are super effective against archers because they have a high pierce armor and have attack bonuses against archer units. The first archer unit, the Archer, is available in the feudal age. They have a mere 30 HP, 4 attack and 4 range. These statistics may seem very mediocre, but being ranged units, they can pick off a few man-at-arms before they get too overwhelmed. Archers make excellent raiding units in the feudal age, as their range means that they can effortlessly harass villagers, disrupting their eco and generally making a slight mess in their base. With archers, it is much easier to push villagers off resources such as gold or wood, so that they cannot create archers of their own. You may, however, expect skirmishers to be used against your archers. Skirmishers are a lot cheaper because they do not require any gold to produce. So with every archer lost to every skirmisher, you will lose more than you will take from your opponent. Therefore, you should try to micromanage your units to avoid taking damage. In the blacksmith, archers can gain +1 attack and range with fletching, and +1 armor and pierce armor with padded archer armor. With these upgrades, you can gain the upper hand when combating other ranged units. The Crossbowman upgrade is available in the Castle Age for all civilizations except the Spanish. Costing 125 food and 75 gold, this increases the unit's HP to 35, attack to 5 and range to 5 as well. When in groups of 10 to 15, crossbowmen can be very deadly to any unit. They can easily shred longswordsmen and most other infantry units as well. Despite this, players should be careful in this age as knights and mangonels will prove to be a force to be reckoned with. The mangonel will take very long to destroy, as arrows do not damage it as much as a melee attack. You will need good microing skills to avoid fire from it. You can either get in close so that it cannot attack, or you can move them around and change their formations to minimize the damage you can take. A good tactic to defeat the knights is to back into a corner so that only 1 or 2 knights can attack your crossbowmen at the same time, instead of being surrounded by a circle of 10. Unlikely as it may seem due to its reputation, elite skirmishers will slaughter crossbowmen and most other archer units if there are an equal number of units on both sides. There is really no precise or clear strategy to counter the amazing skirmisher, but when bumping into them you should try to avoid their fire when possible and always take the higher ground, as this actually improves the damage your crossbows do. When you are assaulting a base, it is a good idea to create some infantry to both protect them against the enemy and help destroy buildings as well, because obviously arrows don't do very much to buildings. Castle Age blacksmith upgrades for the crossbowmen are as follows: Bodkin arrow for +1 attack and range, and leather archer armor for +1 armor and pierce armor. Archers also benefit from some university upgrades. Chemistry gives +1 attack, which is useful, but ballistics is very important. If you don't research this technology, you'll just leave a trail of arrows everywhere. You need to make sure that your arrows hit the target. In the Imperial Age, the Arbalest upgrade is available for only a handful of civilizations. It is unavailable to the following civilizations: Celts, Franks, Goths, Huns, Persians, Spanish, Teutons and Turks. This upgrade costs 350 food and 300 gold, which is actually quite cheap for an Imperial Age upgrade. The Arbalest has 40 HP, 6 attack and 5 range, although of course this is only when you have not researched any upgrades at all. In real life, the Arbalest refers to the actual crossbow, while the person that shoots it is called the Arbalest, so naming the soldier an Arbalest is historically incorrect. Nevertheless, this unit can inflict severe damage on enemy infantry, and if massed, heavy cavalry as well. A large group can one-shot most normal units with ease. Even onagers now may find it more difficult to kill them. Furthermore, with the Imperial Age upgrades, bracer and ring arch armor, it does provide them with a further +1 attack and +1 range, and +1 armor and +2 pierce armor. All these upgrades provide a grand total of +10 attack, +11 range, +3 armor and +4 pierce armor. That is, however, if you have all these upgrades available for you. The ideal civilization for creating and using archers, crossbowmen and arbalests is, of course and without doubt, going to be the Britons, possibly the best archer civilization in Age of Empires 2. This is due to their insane bonuses as a civilization. They have all archer upgrades from their blacksmith available. Foot archers immediately gain +1 range in the Castle Age and another +1 range on top of that in the Imperial Age. Their unique technology, Yeoman, provides the archers with yet another +1 range. This means that their completely fully upgraded Arbalest will have a mind-blowing 11 range in total, and this means that they can outrange town centres and even castles. And just to rub it all in, their team bonus is 25% faster in unit production in the archery range. Now that is an ultimate archer civilization. The two other archer civilizations, the Chinese and the Mayans, do have decent Arbalests, although not as strong as the Britons, obviously. Neither of these two civilizations have bonuses or technologies that enhances the performance of their standard archer, although Mayan archers will cost less than normal. The best civilizations to counter these overpowered Arbalests are the Goths, primarily due to their arrow-absorbing unique unit, the Huskarl. This is because the Huskarls have uber-high pierce armor and have attack bonuses against archers. Goths have the ability to create these anti-archer infantry very quickly. So Britons versus Goths would be very interesting indeed. Overall, the archer can become a very powerful unit when upgraded. With increased range and attack, you can unleash a torrent of firepower on any unit. They can be an excellent support unit, providing cover fire for your infantry when they deal with enemy units at close range. Whilst archers can be hard to mass in the feudal age because of their rather high gold cost, they do become increasingly easier to produce with multiple town centres and more villagers mining gold. The archers and both his two successors have many weaknesses, from mangonels to knights. Anything that is resistant to arrows, is fast enough to overwhelm them, or has the ability to damage multiple units will be a threat to the very vulnerable standard archer unit. Still, Arbalests are brilliant infantry killing machines, annihilating most of them before they can even reach to attack. And when you attack your opponent's base, you should be able to one-shot most units fairly quickly, given that Arbalests do shoot fast. If you mass a lot of Arbalests and fire enough arrows to rain down on their base, your opponent would get the point. Thank you very much for watching. This has been NKZStryker Nathan. Join me next time when I'll be covering the Skirmisher Unit Evolution.